you have been keeping well. Welcome to episode 3 of my not yet named weekly show. Today I'm going to talk to you about the start of a Lyra dress, a finished sewing project, a sock knitting update, as well as a new cast on. So this week I started a new project, which is the Lyra dress from Tilly and the Buttons. I've been wanting to make one of these for quite a few months now, and I finally managed to cut it out in this fabric. It took me 2 days to cut this out. Yes, I take my time with my projects nowadays because what's the rush of getting them done anyway? So yesterday at my sewing social, by yesterday I mean Sunday, at my sewing social that I host, I managed to sew the bust darts and as well the shoulder seams, and that's all I managed to do in 5.5 hours. I have decided to make a few modifications to this Lyra by extending the button placket all the way to the bottom hem. I also didn't want a tiered skirt, so the skirt is just going to be one portion, and I've added more width to it because I do like some extra ruffles or gathers, let's say. I have also added 1/2 inch to the sleeve just to give me a bit more space for my biceps because I felt like my first one was a little bit tight. Other than that, I would like to have some side slits as well as sew the waist ties into the seam, and I hope that I don't forget to do those like I normally do with my sewing projects. I just get carried away. One project that I did finish this week because I couldn't get out of my head was make another Roma Necessaire, which is a pattern that I have designed. I wanted to have a simple version of it, but I couldn't get a cord version out of my head. I recently a few months ago, I made a fabric godmother fleur dress in this corduroy fabric, and something was itching at me that I needed to get a Roma Necessaire done in it. So here it is, and I am very pleased with the outcome. I added a layer of foam inside because I love a spongy look, and I think I did these quilting stitches 1.5 inches away from each other roughly, and I didn't plan it to be like that, but it just so happened to fall perfectly on the corner, and it's made the bag pretty boxy. So I'm very happy with this one. So on the inside, I decided to leave the patch pockets off and just add the side pockets. I have designed the bag to have a binding on the side pocket, but I couldn't decide what fabric I wanted to use, so I just thought we'll leave it off for now. The pocket is lined anyway, so there would be no raw edges exposed anyway for that. I didn't make this with any particular use in mind. I just needed to get this version out of my head. I feel the only thing that's missing on this is a little label, a little tag, which would just give it that perfect little touch. But I don't have my own labels just yet, so I actually need to work on that. Next up is an update on how my sock knitting is going. I cannot tell you how much I have been enjoying knitting 2 socks at a time on circular needles. It has forever changed the way that I am going to knit socks. Not that I've knit many, this is only my 2nd pair, but I will never knit socks one at a time again. I did have a bit of a brain fart when I was knitting up the gusset area. Because I got carried away and I knit one at a time, there came a moment where I wanted to go back to knitting both of them in the round, and they were just not in the correct position for me to do that. I kind of tried to figure it out. I couldn't get there, so I had to watch a couple of YouTube videos to help me get back on track. And after that, I realized the only way that I was going to be able to continue knitting these socks in the round was remove the socks completely and then put them back into this position that I need in order to knit them in the round. The only other hiccup I had along the way is I dropped a stitch, and I only found out when I tried on the socks. By the time I actually found that out, I'd already knit 50 rows. And that meant that there wasn't enough yarn space to pick all of the stitches up for these 50 rows. In other words, it made it a pretty tight pull. I don't know if you can exactly see. Here is the yarn that is pulling, and I'm hoping that when I give it a wet block that it will remove that. I've never had this happen to me before, so if this has happened to you, do let me know what tips, what tricks, what did you do in order to get some elasticity back in the area. And I have done something else that goes against my beliefs. I cast on a new knit project without completing the one that I am currently busy with. I just couldn't get it out of my mind, and I just wanted to get on it. So I cast on for my sweater that I'm doing in collaboration with Wool Warehouse. They kindly sent me out yarn from their latest release releases, the Yarn Smith's Merino DK Superwash and the Yarn Smith's Kid Mohair Silk. And the pairing of these together, I cannot tell you how soft it is. I feel like I'm touching a cloud. Anyway, besides that, I am quite enjoying playing with the colors here. I had a bit of a set design in my head, but then as I started knitting, I felt like I didn't want to just have the sweater with this stripe all the way across. I wanted something to break it in between. So I decided to just add single rows of colors there. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna have to knit up a few more rows to find out, but I have finally cast on and I've managed to do quite a bit. It is definitely coming on a lot quicker than the sock project because it's thicker yarn because I've got 2 strands together and it's a size 6mm needle. The base pattern I'm using for this is the Gumdrop Sweater by Rita Mathers, which is actually what I'm wearing today. So I think the gumdrops were because of the bumps that are all over the sweater. So for this one, I'm clearly not doing the gumdrops. I'm just doing straight stockinette stitch for this one. And I'm quite excited to see this one come together. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter, which goes straight to your inbox. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I would massively appreciate you following the journey with me. You can find all of the links about what I've spoken to today in the description box below, including a link for more information on my monthly Sew and Bond sewing social. That's it from me today. Bye for now.